Brooke and Spencer here, welcoming you to spring with your first spring broadcast. Now here's a few moments that we'd like to share from a couple of Fridays ago when we did our dodgeball tournament against Lewisburg to help raise money for the Minoski family.
Hello, my name is David Bryson. I'm here with Mr. Minoski, and we're going to talk to you about how the dodgeball tournament went against Lewisburg. So, Mr. Mo, how do you feel the dodgeball tournament actually went?
Oh, I thought it was a great Friday night. We had a lot of teams there. I think we had well over 300 people show up, if not closer to 400. Definitely some people were getting hurt that day, so I think the kids had a good time with that. I believe we had a team that went undefeated, which I had no doubt that was going to happen. So very grateful for everybody showing up, and I'll tell you what, that was just a good time.
Thank you very much for your time,
Yep.
Mr. Mo.
I'm sexy.
Next up, we've got the question of the week with Jaslyn and Jessica.
I'm here with Lucas for the question of the week. What did you do when Stella hit?
I was just hanging out with some friends, we were a little low on food supply. Thank God for Jessica. She brought over some cookies and I don't know, we were good from there on out until we could go get some food.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yep.
We're here with Nick with the question of the week. So what'd you do when Stella hit?
I shoveled snow.
Okay, thanks.
I'm here with Steven with the question of the week. What did you do when Stella hit?
Well, when that hit, I went out and shoveled snow with my younger brother. We made $35 each over the past 2 days.
That's really nice.
We're here with Brandon with the question of the week. So what'd you do when Stella hit?
I went out and shoveled snow and went snowboarding.
I'm here with Mr. Hoff with the question of the week. What did you do when Stella hit?
I got to sleep in. Even my kids slept in, which was nice. Made my kids breakfast and then threw them around in the snow.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, we got a couple of kids out here doing student talk. They're talking to some students.
Hi, I'm Melissa Rogers, and I'm here interviewing Jermaine Bolden on what he's doing for this first weekend of spring. So what are your plans for this weekend?
I'm probably going to go hiking and fishing and try it, so.
Alright, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Melissa Rogers, and I'm here with Owen, interviewing him on his first weekend of spring. So what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend I'm actually hanging out with some friends because I had my birthday later ago, so we're gonna have this big huge party with some of my friends. And it's gonna be lit.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Melissa Rogers, and I'm here interviewing Autumn Barrett on what she's doing for her first weekend of spring. So what are your plans for this weekend?
This weekend I'm going to spend time with my boyfriend outside, just hang out, spend some quality time together.
Alright, hope the weather's nice for you.
Yep, I hope so too.
Thank you.
And for all things happening outside of small town Montgomery, next up, we've got the world news.
Hi, I'm Ryan House, and I'm here for your world news. Earlier this month, Japan and its ally South Korea and the U.S. held naval exercises in the case of a nuclear attack by North Korea.
Hey guys, it's Carter here. This next story is going to be an ongoing story about Montgomery's farm. We will have this story from now until April 27th when we release the fish. Enjoy.
Hey, it's Tyler here to discuss bioag. This class is co-taught by Mr. Work and Mrs. Robinson. Mrs. Robinson, what does the class learn from raising trout?
One of the things we wanted our students to do was see some of nature in the classroom. This has been a great opportunity for us to follow their whole life cycle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when are you releasing the trout into the wild?
Our date will be April 27th, I believe. And we are hoping to release them on school property.
Where at? Down at Black Hole Creek?
Yes, up by the complex.
All right.
It's actually crushed up macroinvertebrate material. That's fish food. Fish like to eat the tiny little bugs and larvae that are living in the stream over the winter. I didn't know this, but a lot of the moths are, some of the dragonflies and bugs and different things that we see in the creek during the summertime are actually hatched and living in the stream under the ice during the wintertime. What we're going to do here now is we are going to test the water to make sure the pH, the ammonia, the nitrites, and the nitrates are all within parameters that are going to keep our fish healthy. Take the water, we sample the water from in the tank, and fill each test tube up to 5 milliliters. This first test we'll do measures the pH range. Put 5 drops into the test tube and invert it a few times. And almost instantly you get a reading here that you can compare to see what your pH is. Our pH right now is somewhere around 7.4. Proper pH level for the brook trout in the tank is anywhere from 6 to 8.2. So we're right on the money, right dead center. Okay, the second test we are going to do is ammonia. And in ammonia you have to add 2 parts to the solution. 8 drops of test bottle 1. And 8 drops from bottle number 2. And you take it, shake it, and then you let it sit for a little while. The next test we'll do is nitrites. That is basically the first, after the ammonia is in the tank. Ammonia comes from secretion, breakdown of the food, trout's food, anything that's in the tank that begins to biodegrade. First step in the nitrogen cycle is ammonia. The second one is nitrites. So we'll test for that. Put 5 drops of this solution in here. Shake that up really good and let it wait. And the last step is testing for the nitrates. Did I put the wrong? Right there we go. Okay. One of these bottles has to be shaken up pretty good before we put it in. And it's actually nitrate. We've already pre-shaken that one pretty good. So test bottle number 1 needs 10 drops in the last one. And then number 2. You can see this one's not in quite as easy of a suspension. This is a little bit more oily. Now we have to shake this for a minute. Our first test was for ammonia, and it's somewhere between 0 and 0.25 parts per million. That's pretty low on the scale, so that's fine. The second test that we did here is for nitrites. And you can see that's reading right about 0, which is good. And the third test for nitrates. Nitrates tend to be a little more tricky in this tank at this particular time. but we are operating within reason here. I'd say we're about 20 parts per million. Up to 80 is still safe for the fish.
As your class is also raising chickens, when did they start hatching?
They began hatching Monday. Our official date was Tuesday, so we were a little bit surprised. I came in Sunday to check on them and found some of them were starting to pip, which means they're using their little beaks to peck a hole in the shell.
How are you guys planning on raising them?
We're going to put them in, they are being put in a brooder down in Mr. Ulrich's room, and they'll be there for several weeks, and then we're hoping to have a cage in the outdoors.
All right, thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the reason for having a brooder binder with a
Out of the incubator, it has a heater that keeps the temperature between 95 and 100 degrees. You have water, and we have a food supply. And these 12 that we put in here yesterday look like they're doing pretty well. We are waiting to bring down on the other side what we call silkies. So we have a piece of paper down so their tiny little feet don't fall through the screen, and a water that's at a little bit lower level so they can reach it. And we'll see how they do. If they can't quite reach the feeder, we have one that's a little bit shorter that they can reach. We put a little divider in here to keep the big ones on their side, keep the smaller ones on this side so they don't pick on the little ones.